Good evening. My name is Clara Mlano. You're live on GTV, GBC News, and DSTV on channel 278.
And my name is Valerie Danso. Joining us to interpret the news into sign language is Robert Frimpong Manso. Clara.
It's our first story. It is being described as the grand vision for the health sector. Agenda 111, when complete, is expected to lead for Ghana to become a center of medical excellence and a destination for medical tourism. At Trede in the Kwahuma district of Ashanti, President Akufo-Addo on Tuesday morning performed the groundbreaking ceremony to set in motion the Agenda 111 hospital projects.
The plan is for all districts in the country to have at least one fully equipped state-of-the-art district hospital in the next 24 hours. For President Akufo-Addo, this is to boost and bring quality healthcare to all Ghanaians. 250 local contractors are engineering the projects across the country.
The outbreak of the coronavirus exposed some vulnerabilities in the country's health sector. For instance, 88 districts were identified as lacking hospitals. And again, it was picked out that the country needs more special hospitals, especially psychiatric facilities, as well as the expansion of some existing ones. The Agenda 111 project is made up of 101 district hospitals, 6 regional hospitals in the newly created regions, 2 specialized hospitals in the middle and northern belts, as well as a regional hospital in the western region and renovation of the Efiem Kwanta Regional Hospital. All the hospitals will have staff accommodation for medical doctors, nurses and other health workers. The project's implementation committee has secured sites and land titles for 88 of the district hospitals, and each unit will cost over $16 million, covering 15 acres of land. The Minister for Health, Mr. Kwekwajimaimenu, mentioned some hospitals that have so far been completed and others yet to be done to add on to the Agenda 111 projects.
Construction and equipping of 12 new hospitals in the following locations: Jumapo, Kwabin, Nkwetia, Edukrom, Achiase, Suame, Drobonso, Sabronum, Mansum Kwanta, Hwedie, Mem, and Ponkatamaso. Your Excellency will commence by early September by the contractor, Vamed Engineering.
Nana Achinakwejan, who represented the Asantehene, commended the President for the bold step of the Agenda 111 hospital project.
So obeye na de broni e friend say legacy ubejodni ato ho na Ghana for yewre mfiri da sa bota kase ya odi esi wani so yi so tumi ya e be da ho afibọ na ahye udini enmonyam.
In selecting contractors, local contractors were given a priority to create jobs for the local community in order to create employment for health workers and ancillary staff.
A consortium comprising some 20 Ghanaian consulting firms made up of architects, civil, structural, electrical and mechanical engineers, quantity surveyors, biomedical engineers, and other technical teams have designed these hospitals to reflect our unique domestic requirements, including impact of climate, socio-cultural conditions, and traditional practices.
President Akufo-Addo said the project presents an unparalleled opportunity to transform the country's healthcare system.
Whilst we upgrade facilities, we should invest in medical education and training of our health personnel, including expanding the use of IT for medical diagnosis and treatment in the Agenda 111 healthcare facilities being developed. This network of primary, secondary, and tertiary healthcare facilities will form the backbone of the vision to make Ghana the leading healthcare destination in West Africa.
So, on completion, each unit will have facilities including OPD services, ophthalmology, dental and physiotherapy, and imaging services, among others.
From reports, the state of River Nkobra has worsened at the hands of illegal miners partially defeating the efforts of governments to get all polluted water bodies to their original state. To this end, the military task force has once again been commissioned to the area to make sanity prevail.
The gradual serenity and cleanliness that returned to River Nkobra a few months ago due to the ban at the red zones, forest and water bodies has hit the skids. This is the state of River Nkobra as of August 13, 2021, milkier and more polluted than ever. With their favorite equipment, the champagne machine, Galamsey operators in their numbers had taken over the river exploiting for the gold. So far, the team deployed to the area has destroyed 10 champagne machines with no arrest made yet.
We've not lost the battle. We are on it. We're going to clamp down all recalcitrant operators. As I speak with you, a task force has been commissioned by the minister himself this morning that could be called on a rapid basis.
The Small Scale Miners Association denied involvement in the current happenings on River Nkobra.
No small scale miner is issued license to go and operate on a river body or in a forest reserve. So those you see there are illegal dredgers who are chamfer operators. They are not small scale miners or licensed small scale miners. So that allegation of them being part of the association is wrong.
Meanwhile, a Sudanese delegation is in Ghana to understudy the country's artisanal small-scale mining sector. A mercury-free mineral processor technology, the commodity monitor, was introduced to the team.
The Liberian Broadcasting Systems has entered into a partnership with the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation for staff capacity development and content exchange. Under the agreement, the two broadcasting institutions will be sharing experiences in the broadcasting industry to promote issues affecting Africans, particularly in the areas of politics, agriculture, economics, and science and technology.
Management of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation (GBC) briefed the delegation from the Liberian Broadcasting Systems about steps being taken to reposition the corporation as the lead broadcaster in the country. They include retooling from internally generated fund. The Deputy Director of TV at the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, Mr. George Lomote, highlighted some of the innovative strategies being employed by the corporation to reach its target audience.
It takes time for you to hide whatever content for you to get the following you want. So we try to analyze all of that, took our staff through all of these things, try to change their mindsets. We also looked at how we can package our programs against our commercial obligations, because clearly for the audience, they want to watch content. They are not subscribing to watch advertising.
The Director General of GBC, Professor Amin Al-Hassan, said the old media structure needs to be reoriented to fit into the new media ecosystem.
We have to undertake massive staff reorientation. It's a very expensive process, trying to get them through an intensive crash course to understand the dynamics of the new media ecosystem. It's not like before, because you would have come to GBC to work and you determine what the audience will see when we were the only broadcasting system. Today, we can't pretend that we will determine what the audience wants. We have to know what the audience wants, and we have to deliver to that.
The Director General of the Liberian Broadcasting Systems, Madame Estelle Liberty Kemo, said her country is ready to sustain the partnership to drive the African dream in the communication sector.
We have the same challenges like you talk about, whether it's raising revenue, to sustain us. Broadcasting is very expensive, and just tapping into your reservoir of the kind of, I would say, media empire that you're running around here. I mean, just going around, I'm saying to myself, how does he manage to deal with all of this?
The delegation was elated about how the meeting fared.
Over 446,000 students in 965 schools are participating in this year's West African Senior School Certificate Examination. Officially, the examinations have been gone nationwide, with the visual arts students undertaking their practical parts of the exams in the various centers.
Of the total number of candidates, 221,437 are males, while 224,884 are females. Of the 965 participating schools, 651 are public schools, while 314 are private. The examinations are taking place in 763 centers. The practical exam is scheduled for completion in 1 week, depending on the elective subjects of the students. The visual arts subjects are in 3 categories, depending on the combination of the subjects in any particular school. As part of the exam, they had to design the paperwork on Monday. Tuesday to Thursday is for practicals. On Friday, they will be required to write the appreciation paper. The daily exam runs for 6 hours. On a visit to some of the participating schools, the students were in the process of their practical work. At St. Aquinas Senior High School, 897 students are taking part in this year's exams, with 97 scheduled for the visual arts practicals. Most of the schools have reduced the number of students in the exam hall to 25 or 30 in compliance with the COVID-19 protocols. The headmaster of the school, Mr. Paul Baidu, explained that while some schools may face challenges with a reduction in number, they are fortunate to have enough classrooms. The news team came across the acting director general of the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment, Mr. John Mensah Annan, observing the examination. Mr. Annan says his visit to some selected schools is part of the process to review the curriculum for the senior high schools. At Laboni SHS, final year students in the 6 programs offered by the school will take part in the exams. Some of the students were not happy with the longer period of stay in school at a stretch. The headmistress of the school, Mrs. Cynthia Obuonti, said the number of students writing this year's exams is up compared to previous years, making the preparations more tedious. She says the students had to spend more time in school in order to complete the curriculum. The theory component of this year's WASI begins in the first week of September and will run for 1 month.
The Upper West Regional National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, says 336 people have so far been displaced by floods that occurred in the region a few days ago. Again, 1,605 farmers have also lost their farms. This constitutes about 722 farmlands. Upper West Regional Director of NADMO, Mustafa Ahmed, disclosed this to GBC News at WA.
The regional NADMO director said though the organization is having difficulty in reaching some of the affected areas, information gathered from assembly members in 3 districts indicates that 80 houses have also collapsed, making life difficult for the people. The districts assessed so far are the Nadoli Kalio, Dafia Mabusi Isa and Jirapa. Mr. Ahmed said those flooded areas are not known to be flood prone. He, however, advised people living in low-lying areas to move away.
About 722 farmlands has actually been washed away by what happened on the eve of Thursday and early hours of Friday. And the total number of farmers on these acres of farmlands that have been washed away is about 1,605.
The regional director said NADMO is preparing to reach out to the affected persons with some relief items to ameliorate their suffering.
He, however, appealed for assistance from individuals and organizations in this time of emergency since their resources are overstretched.
We have actually in touch with the religious bodies to at least assist us with some temporary accommodation for these 336 people being displaced, to give us their facilities, at least their churches and other religious institutions that they have around that enclave, to assist us in that regard. And we are taking opportunity about the basic schools that are currently on holidays to use their classrooms on a temporary basis.
Former President John Mahama says the Electoral Commission's posture before, during and after the 2020 elections show a certain hostility against the NDC. He said the EC was to be a neutral arbiter in terms of the electoral process, but that did not happen. Former President Mahama described the deployment of the military during the 2020 exercise as unfortunate. He was speaking on GBC Yura Radio Sunrise Morning Show in Bolgatanga as part of his day's thank you tour to the Upper East region. Mr. Mahama said the NDC is not against any action taken against his appointees who may have engaged in what is perceived as questionable.
President John Mahama's first point of call was at the GBC Yura Radio in Bolgatanga, capital of the Upper East region. He described the economy as a serious crisis before COVID-19 struck. He said the banking sector clean-out, which was not properly done, wiped out Ghanaian capital. Mr. Mahama said the debt, which is over 20 billion cedis, has been added to the public debt, and this has dented the country's economy. He said he will not be surprised if government bids a retreat to the IMF.
Especially after the banking sector clean-out, it created quite a difficulty. It's wiped out Ghanaian capital. That's the point. And after now, the President had promised that they were going to pay everybody. There are many people who have not received payment for their deposits that were wiped out by the banking sector cleanup.
Mr. Mahama said all that his led administration borrowed for is evident for all to see.
With the Pokwasi one, we signed the agreement with the African Development Bank for that project before we left office. If government hadn't changed, that interchange would have been finished long ago. Tema interchange, the same thing.
Former President Mahama charged the government to complete project his administration started with taxpayers' money and could not complete before the NDC left office.
The traditional calendar for many communities in northern Ghana is determined by the Market Day concept. On the Wala traditional calendar, a week is considered to have been complete when another Market Day arrives. The Market Day concept makes it possible for relatively small communities to benefit from economic activities all year round. In our series on markets in Ghana, Swala Abdul Wahab reports that due to urbanization, there's hardly any difference between an ordinary day and a market day in the central market in Wa. Every day is now a market day.
We are currently at the Wa Central Market. Though today is not a market day, there are quite a number of people transacting businesses. Some decades ago, market days used to be a rallying point for surrounding communities where they will come and transact businesses. And this was to ensure that economic activities shift from one community to the other. But today, the concept has changed. For instance, today is not one market day, and yet there are quite a number of people here doing businesses.
This market has helped us because we feed from this. And my mom pay our fees, me and my siblings, from this business.
The one market has expanded so much so that people who were not directly involved in the transaction of businesses at the market have now taken advantage.
We do generate money from the market due to our passengers. We do have customers there inside the market. Some called you to come inside the market, bring some things to his or her customers. So we do have a lot of impact in our market site.
Some of the market women we are spoken with are saying that the concept of the market days are beginning to fade out because they don't see the real difference between market days and non-market days.
Modernity has changed a lot of things. Because Wa has now become a big urban area, the market is always busy, even on ordinary days.
The fact, however, remains that many people outside Wa still troop in to the Wa market to transact businesses, and this is evident by the numerous buses that transport people from other parts of the country to the Wa market for business transaction.
The market there facilitates our job. It helps to improve our economic activities there, because when the vehicle brings the villagers with their foodstuff and offload them there, some of them always come into the Lora Park to continue their journey to Tachima, Kumasi and other places. And most people from Lora and other parts of the region also come there. So when they come there, they exchange passengers. And in fact, that has been improving, facilitating our job economically.
From the heartbeat of all economic activities of the Upper West region, this is Swala Abdul Wahab, GBC News.
The influx of traders moved from the Agbogloshi market in Accra have spilled over to Domnase in the Gomoa East district of the Central region. Now, economic activity there is brisk since the new onion market was birthed. Traders are upbeat about a high turnover. GBC News' Clam Lano has interacted with the Domnase onion sellers.
Gradually, they accepted the offer to move to Ajay Nkotoku as their new trading zone for onions 3 months ago. So, to keep body and soul together, they pitched camp to begin business. But trading became a challenge as not all members of the Agbogloshi Onion Sellers Association found space at the new location. This, coupled with the simmering daily disagreements, a faction decided to break away. And that birthed the Domnase onion market, mostly made up of traders from that enclave who commuted daily to their then Agbogloshi or now Ajay Nkotoku to trade.
And he said that mine at the end of Kokoya, Yanni Minister or Chinamen, Kasakasa Bayano, Uncle Undru. That never man on Ankasaya, where on Akasakra never baba ya, a Hajima, my grandpa, Bram Rananso. Many multinational from a crab umpono, O Kaine Gugulisina, one Casampo, Semencase, different one Casabaka, Semencano crab. Ya buy ya todia pa, baby, or Mobaba todia. Ya you lodia.
With a number of over 1,000 comprising wholesalers, retailers and transporters, the market has expanded to accommodate traders, mostly women in other commodities. For Haja Asuma, she was reluctant to relocate to this present site as the thought of commuting between Accra and the Central region daily to sell drained her mentally, but not anymore.
The very day he sacked us, I was here. So you've been here for I just thank God that everything is gradual. I know I'll build a house and stay here.
Onion, a seasonal product, is imported from Niger, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, and also cultivated in Ghana. It is now in season in Ghana, with the bag selling at 500 Ghana cedi, and the imported ones selling between 500 and 550 Ghana cedis. Alhaji Fusaini explains why the imported onions are more sought after than those locally grown.
Daja omamunye amo mujimana moyeno. Yaya Ghana yanya sa daja maye jimane yene sa. Anintina odrum rebe yede ne etia na wachoso asa. Wede na hune papa. Ope krampo wonya bi. Wede na hune papa. Ba omumu de na obiabaka say papa no. The bet must start to more than 6 months, 7 months, and sign.
As a new market, this location is still being put in shape, and the traders want authorities to fast-track the process. The man Kralo of Gomoafete, who leased the land to the traders, says there are plans of redevelopments for the market.
Contract the Chinese from BC market in our FFF. The market in our size over 3
after 300 acres no yeja yede ma Chinese for city market no ankase emu bi nsi down.
So, if you can't locate your regular onion trader at Ajay Nkutuku in Accra, you could try the Domnasi onion markets on the fringes of the central region. You are more likely than not to see them doing brisk business from this new location. For GBC News. The Anglican priest at the center of the kissing controversy has been relieved of his duties at the St. Monica's College of Education in Asante Mampong. This formed part of the decision taken at the crunch meeting convened by the school authorities over kissing incidents involved the priest and some of the students that went viral. In the video, the priest, Father Obeng, was seen kissing 3 female students before a cheering congregation. The decision comes amid calls from the public and civil society organizations for the chaplain's head. The internal province of the Ghana Anglican Communion has already expressed its dissatisfaction about the matter and has initiated internal investigations. You're watching News Hour live on GTV and GBC News. The news returns shortly.
It's GTP, the name.